I don't like sugar.
In this video, we will talk about sugar, how it affects our weight and health in general.
You know the most destructive force in the universe?
Sugar?
But let's understand what sugar is. Sugar is a disaccharide. That means when it enters our body, it splits into two molecules called monosaccharides by an enzyme called disaccharidase. The first type is glucose, which is important for the survival of the cells, and the other one is called fructose, which has minimal or no nutritional value. Let's discuss glucose first. When we eat sugar, insulin is released from the pancreas. Insulin is important for the entry of sugar into cells, including fat cells. Then those fat cells become resistant to insulin, leading to the development of diabetes and other health issues. Some of the glucose is stored in the liver in the form of glycogen for later use. The effect of fructose is far worse. It enters the liver cells, and unlike glucose, it gets trapped in the liver and leads to the development of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It also leads to the accumulation of fat tissue around the internal organs that's different from the fat cells under the skin or subcutaneous fat. People who acquire their calories mainly from sugar can still look slim on the outside if their calorie input is less than the output. However, they have fat inside their body. This condition is called TOFI, or thin on the outside, fat on the inside. This condition is dangerous. It can lead to hyperlipidemia, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and other health conditions. The American Heart Association recommends a total of 24 grams of sugar per day for women and 36 for men. Now let's look at the amount of sugar in some of the products that we might eat or drink. A can of Coke has 35 grams. A small yogurt can have up to 20 grams. A burger sandwich has 9 grams, and a bottle of ketchup has 29 grams, and so on and so forth. Although the amount of sugar in fruits might be high, but they are always preferred over a bar of chocolate, because fruits contain fibers, which is another form of carbohydrates, and high amount of water, and those two decrease the absorption of sugar. Sugar is extremely addictive, meaning the more you eat, the more you want, and if you don't, you develop cravings. First, let's discuss addiction in general. We get addicted to many substances like drugs, alcohol, nicotine, and coffee. Most of those target the dopamine receptors in our brain, and that gives us a reward feeling. In another word, they give us pleasure. When a person is addicted to something and they get that substance, dopamine increases. Then the effect wears off. They start having withdrawal symptoms and craving for the addictive substance. Now let's get back to sugar. When we eat, insulin is released from the pancreas. Insulin has many roles. One of them is storing fat. Those fat cells release a substance called leptin. Leptin is very important. It gives a negative feedback to the brain that you're not hungry anymore. Therefore, we stop eating. When the insulin is permanently elevated, that inhibits the action of leptin on the brain, and we keep eating more. Some people confuse happiness with pleasure produced by addiction, so let's discuss the difference. Pleasure is short-lasting, whereas happiness is long-lasting. Pleasure is dopamine-driven, whereas happiness is serotonin-driven. The receptors for dopamine can be downregulated, therefore a higher dose of the addictive substance is required. That's not the case for serotonin. An example of pleasure is when you take an addictive drug, whereas charity work, going to church, or when you do some kind of exercise are examples of happiness. So to recap, sugar addiction, then withdrawal when we don't have it, then craving for sugar, and the cycle continues. And once we get sugar from any kind of food, we get the reward feeling. Sugar is extremely addictive. It is more addictive than some drugs like heroin and alcohol. It is very easy to get addicted to sugar because you can hardly find any product without added sugar, and also it is a legal substance. In this video, I will explain the steps you can take to overcome sugar addiction. I learned them from people who followed them and succeeded. I followed them and succeeded, and therefore I'm telling you about them. So without further delay, let's dive in. First step is to understand what being sugar dependent is. If you are wondering whether you are addicted to sugar, I highly recommend watching my video about sugar addiction. And if you are, make a decision today to be sugar-free. Once you understand the problem, explain it to your family members or whoever you live with. You will need their support when shopping for food that doesn't have high sugar contents. You will also need the support of the people who have been there before. Join a group who are in recovery from sugar addiction. Trust me, it will help a lot. Try to understand this is a journey. It's not something that will happen overnight. Even if you relapse, try again. The key is to never give up. You only lose when you give up. Trust me, you can do it. Stop cold turkey. There is no moderation, no gradual decrease when it comes to sugar addiction. The sugar that's in your house will be eaten eventually. It has a long shelf life. Better get rid of it right now. Always read the label for hidden sugar. Comfort food that we eat when we are stressed out is nothing but sugar that increases the dopamine level, and that's what gives us the comfort feeling. I will cover hidden sugar in a different video. Add protein to every single meal. Protein stays in your stomach for a long time and decreases the feeling of hunger. Get your calories from fat. Let fat be your friend. Contrary to the historic belief, fat is not a cause of metabolic syndrome, atherosclerosis, heart attack, or stroke. Nuts have many health advantages. Have a handful when you have sugar craving. I will cover what type is best and why in a different video. Stay well hydrated. Always have a bottle handy. Your brain receives the same signals when you're thirsty or hungry and can confuse the two. Getting enough sleep at night helps with your mental health and increases the serotonin level. It also decreases the stress, which in return decreases the cortisol level. High level of cortisol can increase the craving for sugar. Speaking of stress and cortisol, it's impossible not to have stress in life. It's not a matter of not having stress, it's a matter of how you deal with it. Exercise is a great way to deal with stress or do what you enjoy the most. Get your carbohydrates from fruit. Fruit has a high fiber and water contents and are preferred to a chocolate bar. Some have high sugar contents. I will make a separate video about the best fruit to eat. Vegetables are excellent at satisfying your hunger. They'll fill you up quickly and have a low calorie content. Always have them in your kitchen and you can cook them anywhere you like. 2 pounds of vegetables have about the same amount of carb as a slice of bread. I will make a separate video about what type of vegetable is the best and why. If you are craving chocolate, eat dark chocolate. Do not add milk or sugar to your coffee, nor sugar to your tea. Trust me, after a couple of weeks you won't be able to tolerate it any other way. If you want to support this channel and see more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and you will be notified when similar videos are posted. Have you ever wondered why a hot dog with ketchup and mustard is more appealing than a piece of vegetable, although it's not so sweet? To answer this question, we have to ask, why is a can of soft drink is more appealing than a glass of water? A can of Coke or Pepsi contains a lot of sodium. To counteract the effect of this salty drink, a lot of sugar is added. Those two work hand in hand. The salt makes you thirsty, and the sugar hijacks your taste buds and makes you want more of that drink. There are 4 types of processed food, number 3 and 4 being the worst. Food is processed to achieve 2 main purposes. The first is to increase the shelf life, and the second is to get us addicted to a particular type of food. To achieve that, food is handled in multiple steps. But the ultimate goal is to remove the good carbohydrate called fibers and add more sugar. The companies that control the food industry figured out that the more addicted to sugar we become, the more profit they make. So where is all the hidden sugar? Meaning the food products that have sugar but don't taste so sweet, like a bar of chocolate for example. To name a few: ketchup, mayonnaise, pasta sauce, ranch and other salad dressings, cereal, flavored oatmeal, and even our healthy side salad, coleslaw. And on and on and on. There is a light at the end of the tunnel though. I don't want to discourage you from buying products, but always check the label. The words you're looking for are sugar, added sugar, and if you can't find those two, look for carbohydrates and subtract the fibers. There are always sugar-free or low-sugar version of almost every product that you like. Always remember the recommended daily intake of sugar according to the American Heart Association: 36 grams for men and 24 for women. And always remember, you are stronger than sugar. If you want to support this channel, please like and subscribe. Click on the bell to be notified when a similar video is posted. Feel free to share and see you next time.
For videos like this, like and subscribe.